respect Van Vliet. We know what Jalen Green can do, what his talents. Shagun, this brother can play. He's a big boy that can play. We get that part. But Amen Thompson is the future. This brother's special. And I think that Steve Kerr is going to really, really have to coach, against this kid. He's going to have to figure out a way to neutralize him because he's the pest. Even though Minnesota can up the ante, I'm looking at a LeBron James, shooting 55% against McDaniels. I'm seeing him shoot 46% against the Julius Randle. They don't have to deal with the combination of Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert on the front line, where you're essentially going to be out on the perimeter doing damage. LeBron's going to be able to go in the post when Rudy Gobert has to go to the bench, and I don't know who you're going to have to deal with them because they don't have anybody else with the girth to really deal with that. I see LeBron James having a pretty damn good series. I think I see him having an easier time of having a big-time series against Minnesota than I see of Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God has ever created, having an easy time against Houston. I just see LeBron, the path for LeBron being a little bit easier.
The last time I sat here and had the distinct privilege of sitting across from my friend Stephen A. Smith, he told me that no one strikes fear into the heart of a defender like Steph Curry.
He did.
And if you look at what has happened since Jimmy Bucket showed up in Golden State, you see a 5-point gain in Steph Curry's output. Everyone's going to talk about what playoff Jimmy does. Let's talk about what playoff Jimmy's going to do for playoff Steph. We already mentioned this earlier. I believe LeBron is going to take somewhat of a backseat to Luka Doncic in the playoffs. And by the way, if I have to pick, I'm taking the Lakers to come out of the West. He'll be great. Steph Curry is still #1 with a bullet in Golden State. And Wendy, I think you'd agree, opportunities to still compete and really have a chance to maybe go on a run, they don't come along that often as you age. Steph has a chance with this team, how they've played since the arrival of Jimmy, to do something. I think he's aware of the moment. I think we're going to see Steph absolutely ball out in the West this playoffs.
We're getting a gift here because I don't think any of us thought that you could look anybody in the eye and say that the Warriors or Lakers would have a chance to maybe get out of the West this year. You remember a year ago, they were non-factors in the playoffs. I mean, the Lakers fired their coach because of how poorly things had gone. And the Warriors were like, we got to say goodbye to Klay Thompson. We got to move on and, try to retrofit our team. Look where they are now. In part, some of the stuff that they have done, the Lakers hiring J.J. Redick, but obviously those midseason trades, bringing in Jimmy Butler and bringing in Luka Doncic, have given Steph and LeBron new life. The idea that we're even talking about this is tremendous. I don't think seeding matters at all in the Western Conference outside whoever Oklahoma City plays. Obviously, home court, you get the higher seed, you get home court. But 2, 7, 6, 5, these teams are all very close. I can honestly look at you and say, I don't know how it's going to go. I will say this. I think that as Stephen A. said, I think the matchup for LeBron is a little bit more comfortable than the matchup for Steph. I also think that when you look at LeBron, I got to see how he looks with this groin injury. Since he had that groin injury, he has struggled a little bit. And now he's going to have 8 or 9 days off. They gave him the end of the season off because they worked hard to get that 3 seed. He's going to try his best to get his body ready. But he also tweaked that groin a little bit right there at the end when they were fighting for that 3 seed. So I got to see how he looks, and I'm sure he's going to show the benefits of the rest. But that's a big factor. But I think the fact that we can even have this discussion and we can talk about the idea that one of these two guys could maybe get to the conference finals, because it can't be both. They're both on the same side of the bracket. And the idea, without any disrespect to anybody, that we could see them in the next round at this stage of their careers, that's awesome that we're even on the board.
Peter,
yeah.
You may not know this. April 6th, Golden State goes against Houston. This is in the midst of Steph Curry being on his tear. Do you recall what happened that game?
If I were to guess, I would say that you're going to say his output was not overwhelming on April 6th.
Amen Thompson largely contributed because he spent most of the game guarding Steph Curry. Steph Curry shot 1 for 10, finished with 3 points. Now, obviously, that ain't going to happen again.
It is not.
This Steph Curry we talking about. What I'm saying to you is that at least gives or provides some kind of indication that an explosion, the likes of which we've seen Steph Curry do with everybody else, it's a little bit different with this kid. He's that special defensively, y'all. I'm telling
Got
you.
it.
It's
That the
going to just
matchup
keep your
is
eyes
gonna
on him.
contain him. No, that's fair.
Fair.
I get it, Stephen A. You're going with Robin. I understand. Picking up what you're putting down.
No, Robin, absolutely.
Now you're kneeling. Now you're kneeling.
She's the troll.
Molly, I love
Molly's
it.
the troll today. I like it.
I'm
said
the
that?
ultimate troll.
Very
All right,
elite, did it.
time
The
for
greatest
the first
Robin ever. Greatest Robin ever.
triple threat parlay. Time to get our prop bets locked in for this Saturday playoff games on ESPN. Let's make some money, Stephen A. I'm going to you first. Clippers Nuggets. What bet do you like here?
I like Jokic scoring over 30. That's what I like. I like to listen. Zubac has been very, very good this year. And props to him. Props to him. The kid can play. And I love the development that has come along under Ty Lue and his coaching staff. But this is a different animal right here that he's going up against. And with the lack of reliability that the other components on the Denver Nuggets have shown themselves to be, that puts even more of the onus on Jokic. This is the playoffs. Ain't no back-to-back to worry about. You're trying to survive and thrive, and you've got to move forward in that direction. I think Jokic gets the ball often, and I think he wreaks havoc. I'm going with more with this one. I'm going
Okay,
with Jokic.
Peter, let's grease the pockets. You're headed to WrestleMania in Vegas. For the Knicks game 1, where they host the Pistons at MSG, what do you like best here?
Yes, I will be in Vegas, but at 6 o'clock Eastern, I'm going to make sure I check the score, because I don't know if you guys know, New York's been down bad. It has not been a good week here in New York. Karl Anthony Towns feels the pressure, understands what is needed from this team. Jalen Brunson's going to be chasing Cade Cunningham all day long. It's a big night for Cat. Give me Karl Anthony Towns, 25 or over.
Okay, fair enough. And finally, for the game that caps the night, Wolves at Lakers. Windy, talk to me.
Molly, LeBron, he has 141 double-doubles in his playoff career. It's basically half the playoff games he's had. And you know he's got to go to the boards because they're going to need it. It's going to be a big assignment of his to go to the boards. So I like LeBron to get the double-double. You know he's scoring 10 points. He scored 10 points in like 1,400 consecutive games. So he's getting the 10 points, and I think he's got to go to the boards.
Yeah.
All right, so to recap, guys, we're going with Jokic to score 30+, LeBron to have a double-double, Cat to score 25+. If you like these picks, we've put them into a parlay for you on ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Just open the app, look for the First Take Triple Threat Parlay on the homepage and in the Parlay Lounge.
Good.
Chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Vòng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là quả đào. Hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là quả chanh. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nha.
Chê rồi. Bao giờ ấy được như này?
Ấy cái gì?
Đấy. Bao giờ ấy được bằng cái này.
Bình yên anh quen cuộc sống vô định.
Ui ôi, bộ chị của thầy cốt.
Tương lai em còn.
Đây, lại lên chúng này này. Đâu rồi? Lại lên chúng nói này này.